WNBA just went into full meltdown after Caitlin Clark announced she's leaving the U.S. Now everyone's acting like it's the end of the world. But let's be honest, it's too late. Neither the fans nor Caitlin herself seem to care anymore.
Struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me. And opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark...
She poured everything into this team, put in insane work, built a massive fan base, skyrocketed marketing and sales, and gave the league more buzz than it's ever had. Just look at the comments. People admit they only tuned in because of Caitlin Clark. That's why the reality is finally sinking in for the WNBA higher-ups. The empire they built is starting to crumble.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
But honestly, Caitlin Clark shouldn't even think about coming back, because this league doesn't deserve her. You want to know why? Just look at how they treated her in 2 playoff games. After everything she gave, every ounce of effort, every drop of sweat, how did they repay her disrespect? Let me break down exactly what went down.
Those guys, they're the racists when really y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
For the WNBA is officially in full-blown panic mode because Caitlin Clark wasn't just their biggest star, she was their entire brand. Calling her the league's golden goose doesn't even come close. She was the whole farm. She was the reason so many people started tuning in. When Clark stepped on the court for her regular season finale against the Washington Mystics, it wasn't just another game. It was the event of the season.
Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
Over 17,000 fans packed the stadium that night, setting an all-time attendance record for a single WNBA game. Nobody, especially not a rookie, had ever drawn crowds like this before. Caitlin Clark was averaging over 15,000 fans per game in her rookie season. That's not just impressive. It's historic, see Lip 6.
The most dominant team in the league. They can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals. They supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new Big Three? Dreamers, Liberals. 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Linkers.
Here's where it gets even crazier. It wasn't just the fans losing their minds. Her jersey sales exploded like a Black Friday frenzy. Rookie or veteran, it didn't matter. Caitlin Clark was outselling everyone in the league. The moment she put on that Fever jersey, it was like striking gold. Every fan wanted a piece of history. And just like that, the WNBA wasn't some niche sport buried in the background anymore. It became a full-blown phenomenon. And it was all because of Clark. Clips.
But if you're not delivering the product and you're not making the revenue and you're not, giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going to suck.
She was the golden goose. And suddenly, people who didn't even know what WNBA stood for were glued to their TVs. Tickets were selling out. Every sports show had a segment on her. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a star. She was a one-woman economic boom. Sponsors were lining up around the block. Broadcasters were battling for rights to air her games in prime time. Even the league's dustiest merch was flying off the shelves like it was going out of stock. Now that she's walking away, the WNBA is staring down on a free fall. And honestly, why wouldn't they be? She wasn't just the face of the league. She was the league. Without Clark, they're left scrambling to pick up the pieces. The fallout? It's going to be brutal. The numbers don't lie. From day one, she drove ticket sales, ratings, and revenue. Everyone had an opinion about Caitlin Clark. But things hit an all-time low during those 2 playoff games that completely crossed the line. Clark wasn't just battling opponents. She was getting hammered with flagrant fouls, nonstop trash talk, and dirty plays that no other player would be expected to endure. And the league barely blinked.
She's just not built for the physicality of this league.
Yeah,
and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
And if you think it was just some minor squabbles, think again. These attacks were coming from some of the league's loudest voices. This wasn't your average on-court drama. It was a full-blown campaign to tear her down, and it got ugly fast. First up, Alyssa Thomas, who pretty much threw gasoline on the fire after the Indiana Fever's nail-biting loss to the Connecticut Sun. She went straight for the jugular. On September 19, 2024, in her post-game interview, she didn't talk about the game or even Clark's skill.
This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie.
Nope. She went all in, accusing Clark and her fans of racial bias. She claimed the only reason Clark was getting so much attention was because she's a white player thriving in a league dominated by black athletes.
She needs to be on a better team.
She needs to be on a better team. Yeah, she really said that. And it set off a massive uproar. Thomas didn't hold back, calling the Clark hype nothing more than the result of her being, and I quote, a white face in a sport that's always been built on black excellence.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And
if you thought it stopped at trash talk, oh no, it went way beyond that. Just 1 game later, in the first round of the playoffs against the Connecticut Sun, things took a dark turn. Clark was on fire, lighting up the scoreboard with 6 points by the 3rd quarter. That's when Dejonai Carrington decided to take matters into her own hands, literally. During a fast break in the 4th quarter, after hounding Clark all game, Carrington made her move.
and this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark. No foul call. No refs stopping the game to go look. Is this a flagrant? None of that. Just everybody moved on.
Didn't go for the ball. She went for Clark's face, jabbing her finger straight into her eye. This wasn't some accidental poke. It was a vicious move that left Clark temporarily blinded in one eye. And the refs? They might as well have been statues. No foul, no whistle, nothing. Clark staggered off, rubbing her eye, trying to shake it off. But did she sit out? Not a chance. She came right back, because that's what she does. She keeps fighting, even when it feels like the league itself is turning a blind eye.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, along came Chennedy Carter. Game 2 on September 23, 2024, turned into an all-out assault. Carter, already known for her aggressive style, wasn't just playing defense. She was on a mission to break Clark, and she wasn't even trying to hide it. Midway through the 2nd quarter, she launched an elbow straight into Clark's ribs, so hard it left her doubled over, gasping for air.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays.